Hello, my name is Frances Fox, and I have been trained in all psychic abilities because I was volunteered into a secret government program, basically since I was born. It actually has been said that I was produced for this program. Come on, can we really believe that? Unfortunately, yes. So, why would I have that happen to me? Why am I such a victim? Actually, I was a victim until I realized that I chose that. And the reason I keep repeating this information is because, however difficult your life is, whatever you're going through, you chose it. And you chose it for a very good reason. Not because you're dumb, not because you like to be a victim, not because you're afraid of power, but because it would align you with your mission. So, today, we have so many interesting things to cover. My goodness. We had a modern day attack via technology. Israel sent a frequency through beepers. I'm not sure that it was also cell phones. I believe what was said was beepers. And several hundred people, if not thousands, were injured badly. Supposedly, the hospitals in Lebanon are overwhelmed with the people that died and the people that are severely injured. That frequency that they sent was so strong that it apparently heated up the battery and it exploded. And people put their beepers on their bodies, which they should have never done. But you try to stand between a person and their addiction, and people are addicted to their electronic devices. So I suspect there's going to be a lot of governments really angry at Israel, but not because they were being bad boys and hurting all those people, but because they really revealed to the public something that a lot of us are afraid to say to the public, which is your devices are your worst enemy, and it's the easiest way to control you through them. So I'm not going to say any more in terms of that part of this subject. All I'm going to say is we are in very dark waters and dark times, but we're definitely in Revelations. This that you can kill people through a frequency through an electronic device is not new. The public has not been aware. And now that they're aware, maybe when I tell mothers to not let their kids sleep with their cell phones and that they shouldn't either, maybe they will listen more carefully. And it's not that somebody's going to send a frequency to kill them, it's that the frequencies that are in cell phones are very powerful and they're doing a lot more damage to their children than basically killing them. What they're killing is their mind, their ability to think, and their ability to have human qualities such as compassion, wisdom that gets erased by the frequencies that come out of cell phones. I didn't even know people use beepers anymore, but it's basically the same thing. It's an electronic device that, due to our laziness, we have to have on top of our bodies. We have an electrical system called the etheric body, which is like the Higgs field, except in the shape of the body. And electricity, our etheric body, does not do well with microwave, which is what cell phones and I'm assuming beepers are powered by. The microwave is always going to win over the electricity. I asked that question for several years. I could not get anybody to answer what happens when you put microwave and electricity in the same space. Nobody could answer. So I had to set up my own experiment with a friend of mine who was an electrician, and it was fascinating. Microwave will always win over electric, which means that all those frequencies in your home basically are they're being abusive to your electrical system, which, by the way, is your immune system. So we're going to let that subject go because I will probably say too much, and there's no need to do that. Other people are going to be saying it. And if I'm going to get taken down, I'm not going to get taken down by that because it's a very boring subject to me because I wrote a book about this probably 10, 12 years ago. It's in 3 languages, English, Spanish, and Romanian. Bestseller in Romania. They sold 25 copies. People don't like the subject because they want their addiction. That bottle of liquor, if you're an alcoholic, that cell phone is that bottle of alcohol to the entire population. Do not get between a person and their cell phone. Do not do that. Tell a mother not to sleep with her cell phone, and she'll go, but my children, I need to know. And I go, you know what? Our children, 40% are mentally ill. And when we didn't have cell phones, they were a lot happier. So please do not give me that excuse. Or, well, how am I going to wake up in the morning? That's my alarm clock. Well, do you know what? Forever we used clocks on the side of on our nightstand, and they weren't digital either. And we were happier, we were healthier, and we could actually think. The kind of excuses people come up with, the same kind of excuses alcoholics come up with, and drug addicts. And you're probably not liking this part of the conversation because I'm sure that you too are addicted. And by the way, I probably am also. Even though I do turn off and keep away from my body, my cell phone, I tell people, don't send me a text. You're going to have to call, and then I'm going to hear the ring that's on the other side of the room or downstairs, because I rarely have it near my body. But it's still, I need it too much. So, off of that subject. We, in our chat last night with the Montristas, we sketched the United States. This is so fascinating. Honestly, they need to hire me. So the United States looked really good. Texas looks great, but Elon just moved there. So there's a lot of positivism there. But there's a portal in the north part of Florida. And this chat was last night I think it was at 8, and it was 2.5 hours ago that this portal opened. Trying to read my notes. This was yesterday. You know what that portal is? First, we said, let's in bad energies, bad spirits. It's like having a hole in your body. That portal is rage in Tallahassee. What happened yesterday? Second Trump assassination attempt. And DeSantis says he's not letting go of the guy that they picked up who tried to kill Trump. We'll take care of it in Florida. We're not turning it over to the authorities, who apparently this suspect had a lot of relationship with. Lots of anger that this would happen in this state. In the area of Tallahassee, a portal was blown open by the level of rage. So anyway, we worked and we closed it yesterday. That is how easily portals open up. So where are there portals in your home or in your life? Where did you receive a god-awful phone call that you'll never forget how you felt when you got that awful phone call? It's probably a portal there. And they can be closed, but you have to work on it. The Mantrista movement, music, is absolutely part of the process and protocol of closing portals. Doing mantras to draw in and release and purify the emotion that was elicited, that was toxic, accumulated, and broke open the portal. That needs to be done, but it can be done. It's not that difficult, especially if you have several people and everybody works on it. So the United States looked good, except for a portal in a place where legitimately the people had every reason to be angry. This happened in Florida under DeSantis' watch. And then the level of anger that they had to feel in order to stand up to the federal government, say, no, we're not handing the prisoner over. We'll take care of this ourselves. That sets a little bit of an interesting precedent. We are really in interesting times. Revelations. And today is an eclipse in Pisces. Revelations. Today it was revealed that your little favorite devices that you're addicted to can, and I'm telling you, will kill you. What else is going to be revealed that's going to be part of the takedown of a society that we set up that was no good for us? And here we are, just like Atlantis. As I told you before, Atlantis had a lot of temples, and they were kind of like schools, and they were different groups that got together, and they were very proud of their technological advances. They worked with ETs, and they wanted to be the best, and they wanted to be first, and they didn't pay attention to ethics. They didn't pay attention to what those inventions, those technological advances were going to do to humans. They didn't take the time to do that. The same way we didn't take the time to do that with any of the electronic devices today. That is the reason why Atlantis went under, because their technology was very developed, but their ethics was really lagging behind. And that gap is a gap where the spirits play, and that's why Atlantis went down. I wrote that book that I wrote about our electrical system and how devices are not good for it. That book, at the end of it, I compared to what's going on today, to what happened, and why Atlantis went down. And you know what? Maybe why we're going down also. If you're at the place where but we don't know that Atlantis existed. You don't know that Atlantis existed. Don't you be throwing all this modern stuff at me. Don't tell me that the universities haven't supported this, because if we continue to follow the science as we know it today, we're going to go exactly where it is that we're going, down the tubes. This that we have today is not science. Don't quote science to me. I know what science is. Science is observe and draw conclusions. 5,000 years of science on the influence of planets on human behavior and development. And we don't think it's a science? Why? Because we're arrogant and because people want to control us. And now they learn they can control us through the religion of science. Yes, it's collapsing now. Why? Because they almost killed us. And so now we're in an uproar about it. But man, did we revere that science. Very upsetting, all of this. And very upsetting, all of those people that got hurt. But even more upsetting to know that our children are vulnerable. Years ago, it was in the news, and I don't remember who it was, Apple or somebody else. They could fix something in your eye by sending a frequency through your cell phone. And I went, yeah? Never heard about it again. I think they realized that if people added two and two together, for those of us that can still add two and two, that we would realize, well, if they're doing that to our eye, what are they doing to the rest of us? Frequencies again, the reason why you need the Mantrista movement, to correct the frequencies in your environment so that you can have the ability to think clearly. The part of us that is, I cannot say that it's the part that's the most affected, but our ability to be wise and our ability to have compassion has been totally truncated by frequencies from our devices. We are not, the quality of human beings is not the same. And so when is it that we started to really find out that sound can heal and is the number one healer? Lately. How long have they known that? For a long, long time. So if sound can heal, then sound can make you sick. I need to stop talking about this because I do want to be able to continue to chat with you. You know that I discovered that there's a new type of spirit that's entering the planet. So today I decided to ask the dolphins. And today I decided to stop everything and have a conversation with the dolphins, which basically was I ask them and they tell me, and I write it, type it up on my computer. The new spirits are called Xenos, Xenos. And I know there's video games that refer to this. Xenos is alien or an outsider. The dolphin said to me, look up the Greek word for outsider, and that is the name for these new spirits. So these new spirits are outsiders to planet Earth. They look like snakes and they have eyes, but mainly they have teeth. And they are new. And I'm going to bring my computer over here and I'm going to read you the whole document because this is part of the process of taking down human beings. Give me a second. Okay, let's see how quickly I can get this open because I know people are very impatient. I'm going to read you what the dolphins told me today. Okay. Xenos, it's got an S at the end. Oh, I did write it correctly. Okay, this is what the dolphins have to say about these new spirits. I am releasing them, and as I said to my assistant, what I'm doing is an exorcism, it's a liberation. I'm dealing with the spirit, and that spirit has intention, and that spirit knows when I'm there, and that spirit starts to do stuff. I've been so critical of the Catholic Church when they have to deal with spirits because we do our exorcisms so elegantly. This is not quite so elegant. I need to be careful about criticizing other people because okay. I asked the dolphins, talk to me about these spirits. Hold on, let me make this smaller so that I can see it. The new spirits in the shape of snakes are parasitic and take from you your life force, memory, and thoughts, often leaving you empty. That emptiness includes making your intentions disappear to such an extent that you don't remember what your intention is. That is their job, to debilitate your body by taking your life force and vitality, to debilitate your ability to create via your legitimate intentions. Today, many are only intending to reach the end of the day to go home and go to bed, or at least to rest their body and mind. That lack of intention means humans will lack the stimulation of their intentions, which has always been the driving force behind human life. You intend on not dying, so you do many things to ensure you don't die, such as taking care of your physical body and paying attention to your health. You intend on making enough money, so you protect your source of income. But if you didn't have intentions, you would probably not even get out of bed in the morning, as there's no reason to. You no longer intend on making money and paying bills or staying alive. The lack of intention to stay alive means you no longer protect yourself. You no longer sniff out danger. You no longer pay attention when you drive or do anything that could cause you harm if you don't pay enough attention. Intention is the driving force behind humanity, and human intentions are under attack by galactic forces that know how to debilitate and eliminate intentions via these particular spirits, the ones that are called Xenos, Xenos. They are silent invaders. They know how to hide their existence inside of the assemblage of bodies. They do not create disease or stress. They are silent invaders of the human system. And if successful, they create another group of humans that become a type of zombie. This is the part I found the most fascinating. Contrary to the zombies, where the spirit body of the person disassociates enough that a space is left for another spirit body, usually a galactic spirit who never had a physical body, these new type of zombies, the Xenos, continue to be a vessel for the astral spirit of the human, but without the intentions of that human. The causal body, I asked them, what happens to the causal body which holds human intention? The causal body is the channel, the string that is a double terminated funnel, which is the Holy Grail. It's got the funnel at the top, the funnel at the bottom. The causal body remains intact, but the intentions within the causal body do not reach the mind strings, which are those are the strings from string theory, which are the working force behind intentions. That nectar inside the causal body no longer flows into the mind streams. You can call these new type zombies outsiders, and that's where I got the name Xenos, because the Greek word for outsiders is Xeno. And these are outsiders in terms of not from this planet. So there's another piece here, which I'm not even going to go into. So we have a new type of spirit that has entered the planet in mass. So some of you could say, oh, come on, let's get on to a more interesting subject that has to do with politics or what's in the news. Um, a new type of spirit that's coming in mass to take down humans, which would include you. Maybe you need to pay attention. And of course, that's a big issue for humans. Our attention span is down to like 0. So we are in an interesting time. It's an eclipse. The eclipse is later on tonight. You should do a mantra for this eclipse or any eclipse to take advantage of the powerful energies of the eclipse. So it would be something like, please God, help us with our intention to miraculously benefit from the eclipse. Whether it's a positive eclipse or not, you want to be able to benefit from whatever forces the eclipse will bring. You're going to get hit by it anyway. Why not go ahead and focus those energies into something that's good for you, using, again, the power of intention. In X and in other places, they're saying something big is coming down the pike, and you're not going to be expecting it, and the world as we knew it is no longer going to exist. Today, I absolutely feel that those statements are accurate. There is no way that our society is going to be able to be left standing. In order for the collapse to not be complete, we have to very quickly align with what it is that is going to be supported. Yesterday, I made a statement and I didn't get any flack, but then I don't get responses from anybody. Everything around me is totally controlled. Nobody can get to me. And I said that Jesus Christ was the poster boy for the age of Pisces. That innate goodness, but the victimization and the martyrdom at the end. That is not where we're at now. We have basically left that era and we're into the age of Aquarius. Most people don't know it and they don't know how to handle it. The face of this new age, the golden age, the age of Aquarius, is Elon Musk. Who said that we aren't going to be able to do business anymore? Nobody. But we cannot do business the way we did before. It's got to be different. That is what he is showing us. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how people integrate this whole issue that is going to come up now very loudly, having to do with somebody's going to be able to kill you through your cell phone. Somebody is going to be able to kill everybody through their cell phone, or they can do segments of the population and kill them through the cell phone. They're already killing us slowly. They're killing our mind. How does that integrate with the new business? I don't know. But I never knew that there could be frequencies that would heal your spaces that have too much Wi-Fi. And there are, because we're producing that. That's our Mantrista movement. Once we realized that the frequency of trilling, which is the sound of birds chirping, which is why I wanted to slit my wrist when Elon Musk took away the little bird, but that's okay. We still have the frequency. Once I realized that that can balance out the Wi-Fi if you have enough of it, I was like, oh my God, thank God. And a friend of mine had told me that, come on, Francis, there's got to be a solution. There's no solution. Yes, there is a solution. It's through frequencies. You just need a volume of it. But why can't you have big businesses have this type of music that's healing, but not just generically healing, but very specifically healing to the frequencies that are killing us, the Wi-Fi. And I'm not sure about the 5G, okay? So we can. It's a re-education, and it's a paying attention to things that we didn't know and we were not familiar with, and that we really need to get up to speed very quickly. If we can put out a composition of music that includes the frequencies that repairs teeth and bones, you know what? We can put out music that can repair workspaces to where the people that work can actually be happy. They can be more productive. They can not need 6 windows open on the computer at one time because they can be satisfied focusing on what it is that they're supposed to be doing. We can do this. We just needed to know that we need to do this. Whatever it is that needs to happen with the government, it can happen. We just need to understand the new rules. We need to understand the energies that are supported. We need to understand, how do you set up for a big company, for a big country like the United States, when we have the hierarchy falling and the meek shall inherit the earth? How do we set this up now? How do we do this transition without everything having to collapse? I'm not sure that we're going to be able to prevent everything from collapsing. But I have been getting people to do mantras since 1999. Please God help us with our intention to be miraculously prosperous in the midst of chaos. And please God help me with my intention to align with my miraculously prosperous mission. Intention creates reality. We can do this, but we have to teach people about intention, teach them about the power of intention, give them the training, show them that it really works, because it does, and then get our entire society on board. And when somebody says, like, if we're going to do an intention to heal somebody that's not us, I've had people say, well, but do we have permission to do that? When you have an accident and you're unconscious and the doctor's doing surgery on you, nobody questions whether they should wake you up to ask for permission to do surgery on you. Okay, so we have to make some sense, and we cannot be, I was going to say this need to be studied. No, I've got enough of, we need to study this and we'll get back to you in 2 years. No, we don't have 2 years. We don't have beyond 5 minutes. So we need to figure out how to get this done quickly. And it can be done quickly because you're not talking about an infrastructure that's physical. We're talking about working with the power of the human mind, which is what we're supposed to be doing in the age of Aquarius. But we need to get to it. And maybe this thing that happened today, maybe this will be the kick in the pants. Okay? Xenos means outsider. And the dolphins suggested that I look up, there's a comment, that I look up what the word for outsider in Greek. And I came up with this word. And then when I looked it up, I saw that I think there are video games, and they actually talk about these beings that are like outsiders. So, you know what's really nice, having people like the dolphins. They're people in dolphin bodies. But I'm a people, and I have dolphin consciousness in me. I suspect that Elon does also. So let's go ahead and do a mantra. And let's do the one for the eclipse, because today is the eclipse. And if you're listening to this in a podcast, eclipse energies last for 6 months. So you can still do it. Okay? Or you can change it. Whatever it is that you... Okay, so let me write. Give me a second. Portofino, the music that made people happy. We have to get Mateo to finish with his composition for Mexico. So we're working on that, but it's for Mexico, and yet I suspect it will make people happy. And until now, you know what's interesting? The sound, the music, the song Despacito. I'll never forget. I made I had the monks at my home when that music came out, or right after it came out. And I made them sit in front of the TV set and watch the video, not really understanding how sexual the video was. I felt embarrassed afterwards and I apologized. But they were so impressed at the number of people that saw that video or that song, Despacito. And I had read it, which I have done for some of Mateo's music. The music Despacito really got to people because it works on the heart chakra. It releases sadness from the heart chakra, and then you get happy. So there's a lot of things that we can do, and we're already set up for it. We were just missing the knowledge of how important frequencies are, having to do with our emotions and healing and now killing, we find out today. And we just need to get it directed. And we need to get the public educated, which I don't think is going to take that long. Did you know that before it would take 50 years for a new discovery in medicine to reach the public? How did they get us to do all those injections so quickly? Anyway, it doesn't take 50 years anymore. It doesn't take 50 years anymore. And I'm going to leave it at that. So here is the mantra, and I'm going to put on some music, and we're going to do 10 minutes of this mantra. The eclipse is in a couple of hours, and it's in Pisces, which is the most evolved of all the signs. And Pisces come into this incarnation massively depressed because of all of the unfairness and lack of compassion that they have witnessed. Not that happened to them, but that they have witnessed in other incarnations. So they come in and they basically shut down. So here we go. The mantras are repeated in silence, and you expel your breath through your mouth. I am going to do the whale music. If I have it, yes, I do. I think that you should continue to do this mantra the rest of the evening. Because the eclipse isn't until a couple of hours from now in terms of Eastern Standard Time. And some people it's tomorrow or the 18th, depending upon the part of the world. It's a very strong eclipse. There's going to be a lot of things have already been shaken up by the energies of the eclipse. Eclipses, you can feel it 6 months before, 6 months after. Eclipses shake things up, and they are here to create changes when humans have not made the changes that they need to make because they weren't aware or because they didn't want to, because they were too lazy or they were too afraid. And eclipses can go ahead and pull the rug out from under you to where you're positioned for change or the change is made for you. So it's always best to try to work with the eclipse so that you can make the change gracefully and not the eclipse. And I was thinking about what the dolphins said today about these new spirits that are coming in that are called Xenos, Xenos, which means outsider. They're not from this planet. They have not been here before in mass. Um, and the fact that if we didn't have intentions, we wouldn't even get out of bed in the morning. We would not drive carefully because we wouldn't have the intention to be healthy and safe and not to get injured. If we didn't have the intention to earn enough money to keep paying our bills so we'd have a nice place to live, um, we wouldn't go to work. So basically, intention is what powers humans. And I had not kind of understood that clearly until this particular message from the dolphins. So I want to remind you again, in case you did not hear yesterday's chat, you cannot die unless you intend on dying. So for those of us that are worried about something happening to Trump, he has no intentions of dying. Therefore, he's not going to die. He's not going to get assassinated unless he gets too tired and some situation in his life takes away his desire to live, his vitality. Now, it turns out that these spirits, the Xeno spirits that are coming in, take away vitality and they take away your intentions. A bit of a problem. I had not realized that till now. So we will be back. And the world keeps getting more interesting. We're definitely in Revelations. It definitely feels like the rug is getting jerked out from under us. But you know what? It was said 5,000 years ago. Shouldn't we be a little bit more ready? Why are we not more ready? Because we didn't really believe our religions. All those people that are shaking and showing the Bible around, did they really make any changes? Because it's in the Bible. Those that really think that the Mayans were incredible, did they make any changes? Did they adjust to what's happening? I'm not sure that anybody did. Why? We didn't really believe it. Because we didn't want to believe it. And now here we get stuck with our pants down and we've got to scramble very quickly. And we can do it. You know what? Why am I saying that? Yeah, if I'm saying it and I said it so easily, then that means that we can make this transition much more graceful because a lot of us already have one foot in the golden age. We don't have both feet in the age of Pisces, which was not easy and where everything was not really under our control. In the age of Aquarius, it is, but with the power of the mind. And I have to remind you again that in the age of Aquarius, it was said community, etc. It was also said that there was going to be a huge issue with mental illness, and that's happening. By the way, throughout the centuries, it's been known that mental illness is totally attributable to spirits. It is only with modern medicine and their whole thing of spirits don't exist, or at least we're not allowed to talk about them. We can call them parasites. Those parasites have intention, but we can't call them spirits. So then we cannot possibly address mental illness unless we have people whose lens is wide enough that they take into consideration something that has been known forever on the planet, which is the influence of spirits. And now we have a new group. By the way, I am giving events. Every time I give it, I charge more. I started charging $10 and then because I wanted a lot of people to benefit. And I'm charging $20. I can't live off of that, but that's okay. And $30, I'm not sure I would charge more because it literally is a little bit of a battle to take care of these new spirits that do interfere with intention. And here we go again with the whole thing with mental illness, a new type of zombie, due to these new spirits called the dolphins, called Xenos, Xenos. Okay, that's it. See you again. And thank you for joining us.